Alright, this is Andrew Jolly with Joda Home Inspections. We're here today at 144 East Herbert Ave in Salt Lake City doing a sewer scope. Today is March 31st, 2020, and we've got the camera pushed out to the main line, the city connection. We're going to pull it back down, record it, and see what we find. So this first connection point is called the nose-on. This is where it goes from your lateral line into the city line. Looks like you have a little crack on the nose-on there at the bottom right hand side of the screen. Looks like you still have a good connection, but that could cause an issue. Now I will say, as I pushed this camera out, I saw a significant amount of water, standing water in this line. There's a tiny bit. You're going to see more and more of it. The camera head's going to eventually go underwater at several points. That's an issue because you don't have proper grade, and so it's going to be a lot easier for this line to back up. This is original pipe, so this is the clay. One of the issues with clay is that you have a lot of junctions, a lot of transition points where one part of clay connects to the next piece, and those are areas where roots like to come in. And so this line has a lot of roots, and I'll point out a couple of those spots. That's a spot where solids can get caught, it can create a blockage, and then it can back up. Also, the roots, if you ignore it long enough, can get big enough that the roots will simply just back up the line, even if you're just draining liquids. So that was all underwater. You don't want to have standing water like that. A little bit is okay and is less likely to cause an issue, but when my camera is going completely underwater, that's not a great sign. There's some roots. Those ones aren't horrible. You still have the majority of your line open, but I did see some that were covering 40 or 50% of the line. This area, or at least Salt Lake proper, generally has insurance that's available. I would recommend either replacing this line on your own or definitely getting the insurance. Also, in the meantime, whether you replace it now or not, I would recommend having this line cleaned out to get all the roots out. There's a nice one. That's covering a good section of pipe. That one's covering up more than half the line. Luckily it's on the top, so at least for the time being, things are getting past that point, but that's just going to get bigger. If it becomes dislodged, that could block the line though. A lot of solid waste, a lot of sludge and solid waste. When you have standing water, the water has to build up for all that waste to drain. And so what ends up happening is you get a lot more sludge and solids just sitting in the line, waiting for their turn to get enough water to flow down. This is cast iron. Cast iron is another part of the original pipe. Cast iron will get rust and sediment that builds up. It gets very rough. It'll flake over time to where the line gets very thin, which can cause it to need to be replaced. That rust and sediment can catch on solids, which can make it stuck, and then it can back up. Really, any line, but especially this one, you want to avoid using wet wipes or flushing down feminine hygiene products. You don't want to put anything down the line that you don't absolutely need to. So I mean, to recap, this line is functioning, but not very well. You have a lot of standing water. It's not draining on its own with gravity. You have a fair amount of roots. These are all things that I would recommend taking care of now. as far as getting it hydrojetted out, getting all those roots taken care of now, but also considering replacement so you can avoid these issues in the future. And at a minimum, if you're going to push it, I would absolutely recommend having the insurance. So I'm going to end this recording now.